This is workout one. This is gonna be a two-parter. These guys, if you guys don't know, and when you guys start, these guys will do the workout. They'll have a 3-minute break in which we'll go from inside the barn, which will be the venue, to outside, and they'll go directly into WOD number 2. So you'll have a 2-part workout for them, for everybody to start. Okay. So.
Is this all I need to give him, or what?
Yeah. So, Chrissy, if you want to hand that to me. Workout one.
Yeah, one. Okay.
Yep. So Diane.181. So we've got 181 deadlifts for time. Okay. So now this on your score sheet, you'll just again count. So you've got 2 guys, 2 ladies. They can rotate in and out however they want. Guys lift guys' weight, which obviously will have the indicated amount of plates. Ladies have to lift ladies' plates. So obviously we don't want a guy lifting the ladies' weight. So if they switch in and out, which most teams probably will have their strategy of, hey, all the girls are gonna get their reps in and then all the guys will get their reps. Otherwise, transition-wise, they don't have to take weight off, put weight on as many times. So 181 reps on the deadlifts. Just make sure the weight is appropriate on your score sheets. You'll have the specific weights for males and females. So make sure you guys are just looking at we'll always have like the female weight will be loaded already when they start the workout. And so if the guys run out first, they have to add their 35s to make it whatever weight they're supposed to have, okay? So as you're doing the reps, obviously you can do it every 10, every 20. I believe the numbers, the box is here for every 20 reps. So obviously just kind of check off or write the numbers in the box just for yourself, for kind of whatever is gonna help you remember kind of how to check it off, mark it off, and then kind of move on. Obviously, at the very end of this is important on this specific workout. So there's 2 points for the finish of 181 reps, and then a point for them to get on the starting mat, okay? So everybody will have a mat. Obviously, if me and my partner are going out, or excuse me, one person goes out, I do 181 deadlifts, that's 1, check that off. And then I turn around and have to go to where my team is, where they're basically hanging out on the starting mat, that's 2. So that's 2 potential points for not just the finish, but also the finish of the mat.
And that's where you'll do time, is when they're back on that mat with their teammates.
And you'll have timers and things like that. So if you get confused, there'll be the main clock, but you'll also have your stopwatch that you'll just click and then just hit the finish time. Now, at 8 minutes, if for whatever reason they don't finish all 181 reps, then you just take whatever total rep scheme they finished. Let's say they got 140, you just write that there. Don't do anything else, just write 140. Or like if you're counting over here in a box, in the middle of it all, in the chaos of it, and you're like, hey, they're at 141, you have it written here, just circle that number so that Miss Hillary, right, our scorekeeper, so that she knows, okay, that's the finished number that they are at. And then if for whatever reason you forgot to write down the rep scheme, at least that big number is circled, and she can look up over here on the grid and be like, okay, I'm assuming they got 141, and they can always confirm, okay? Now, to this workout, if they finish 181, okay, that is 1 score. Then they get extra scores for the total amount of handstand push-ups that they're gonna do adjacent to their station, which will be on a wall, right? So handstand push-up, their head has to touch what's gonna be an ab mat, right? And they'll have their hands on 2 different plates. So RX will have 2 stack plates, Scaled will have 1 stack plate. We've already discussed that their hands can touch any part of the plate. So if their fingers kind of crawl over the plate, so if this is my plate and my fingers are falling off, that's fine, as long as the palm of the hand is on the plate. So I can't have half of my palm on, because what they'll try to do is they'll try to widen their hands to minimize the range of motion. Like this is a shorter press as opposed to me having to do this. So just make sure the palm of the hand is on. If the fingers are hanging off, then that's fine, okay? And then again, so total time when they finish their deadlifts, total reps for the handstand push-ups for how many they do, touching the head, locking all the way out, okay? And some people will go pretty fast, and what you're looking at are the elbows, right? You want the head to touch, you want the elbows to lock out, but you also don't want their butt on the wall. So we also just want, the only thing that should be touching when you're fully locked out is the heels of your feet, okay? So if they press and their heels fall off the wall as they're pressing, don't count that rep. They have to show control. If you can't count or you're unsure, tell them to lock out. Typically when you tell them to lock out, they'll stop, prove it to you that they're there, butts off, heels are on, and then they can come back down and go to the next reps. Okay? Yeah, strict. kipping, yeah. So typically like that, some people will do strict if they feel like they're stronger that way, and then when they get tired, they will start bending their knees to the same. Touch the head, lock out with just the heels on the wall. Okay. Does anybody know what that looks like, or doesn't know what that looks like?
You should probably do.
Yeah, right here on the door. Yeah. I think that's it.
But still, if they go to kipping, no butt on the wall, right?
When
At
you
the
come
extension.
down, like when you finish,
Right,
like your
yeah.
butt can touch
At
when
the
you come
top.
down, but when you finish, yeah, butt has to be off.
Okay.
Now, the biggest thing for all of this to help myself and Miss Hillary is going to be when you guys get your scorecards in a legible manner, write your name at the bottom, because if there's a dispute, if a team is mad, then you guys are the first people we're going to, just to confirm, like, hey, what happened? In any competition, it is the judge's responsibility, but it's also the athlete's responsibility for weights, reps, count, things like that, right? There's 4 of them, there's 1 of you, so you're a little outnumbered. So the biggest idea is, obviously, when you sign, and especially when they're done, at the time of workout, hey, do you like this score? Is this confirming that this is what you just did? If everybody's in agreement, you have them sign it, and then we'll have somebody to run over, and you give them the score sheet, they'll run it to Miss Hillary at the table. That's the end of that workout, right?
Couple quick things on this. So, there's not really any rhyme or reason to these boxes. Some of you might want to, like, if the female goes out and does 30 and then her teammate comes out, then you put 50, you know what I'm saying? And just however it works, tally marks, whatever works for you. The main thing is it's going to be really, really fast paced. So when they run back to that starting mat, you can stop your stopwatch even though the clock's still going, because Jess will call time, because the time is this first piece, and then we're moving to just reps for this second piece. So, stop that, make note of it, and they're going to have to meet up with their teammates. Then they're going to the other side to go to the wall. So you'll have like little time. Just make sure you note that time, because that's going to be one of those.
And that time doesn't stop until everybody's on the start mat together,
Yep.
correct?
Yeah. I
mean,
Not at 181.
No, yeah,
Full
they'll be back
extension.
on.
Does
Back
that make
to the
sense?
mat.
That confuse anybody? Okay, so again, time for the deadlifts. Not when they're stood up. When I stood it up and then I come over here to my team, that's time. So I still have to finish my 181. So if I'm the last athlete, 179, 180, 181, don't stop your watch yet. I drop the bar, turn around, start mat, that's time. That's where you stop doing it.
But there's somebody else on the team that's coming to do another 181.
No,
No,
it's
they
a
all-
total.
That's
it's a
the
combined
total for the whole
Combined
team.
total.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
yeah.
teams of
One
4,
total.
combined total.
They can rotate in and out as they
Switch
wish.
over.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
One thing too, and this goes for this workout, but more importantly for those workouts where we have barbells overhead, barbells must not come off mats.
Yep.
If they come off the mats, there's a penalty for those. So you guys just be sure to
Do we have a
stay on
penalty
your.
specifically
On this
for
with the
this
red,
one?
this wouldn't count.
Yep.
So they'd have to pull it back on the mat.
Yeah, and redo
for
it.
those of you that have done KO or have seen KO before, similarly, like you're on a stall mat, right? There's very little room for you to be moving around, slamming bars and dropping it. So if they decide to stand up rep 181 and throw a haymaker to finish, which is probably going to happen, like you have to be the bad guy in that moment to be like, hey, if I finish and I'm like throwing my bar, and as I'm running to the start mat for time, my bar rolls off.
Bring 'em
that
back.
does not count. You have to pull the bar back. You have to stand it up. Well, most likely what's going to happen, they're going to do it mad. They're going to pick it up. They're going to slam it down, and then they'll go to the front, and then that's time. Like, it is what it is. Like, you just have to keep
So it's
it.
a no rep.
It's a no
Yeah.
rep. It's just safety reasons. You have to try to keep equipment in the designated space, because otherwise things start rolling off and hitting other people or into other things that aren't ours, like things like that. So you clarify that with them. You will have some athletes who are new. I know Eclipse has a few. I'm assuming there's going to be other gyms that are providing newer athletes to competitive floor. But hey, barbell stays on the mat. Like you tell them that from the get-go as they're walking out. Hey, when you do your deadlifts, keep it on the mat. Don't let it roll off, or I have to give you an overhead. Yeah.
I will normally, like on their rep of 179, 180, I will start telling them, keep it on the mat,
Yeah.
keep it on the
Yeah.
mat.
Like as they get close, like keep it
Yeah,
down.
if you
keep it
remind
down.
them, they're usually pretty good about
Yeah.
that.
Because they don't want to get that.
Yeah,
no
they
rep.
don't.
Yeah.
You're right.
Especially if you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna finish. No, you're not. Come back. You're like, what?
Yeah.
So that's gonna happen. So yes.
So after all 4 are on the mat, do they go straight to handstand push-ups?
Yes.
Or wait?
So they don't have to wait at all.
Okay.
Because again, we're on an 8-minute clock. So let's say they finish their deadlifts in 6 minutes.
Oh, so they have 8 minutes for the
Mm-hmm,
8
total.
minutes for the whole thing. So only if they finish their deadlifts do they go to the handstands. And so yeah, start mat time. Okay, let's say they did 6:18. Okay, so you have a minute 42 to do your handstands. Get as many as you can. One person works at a time.
And they're only, the non-working athletes always stay on that start mat. They
Yeah.
cannot go help the deadlift, floating, and then for the handstand, one athlete, there's two athletes that go. One is working and one's holding a handstand the whole time on both on RX, 4-scale, and Masters. So the other one's just picking up. They have to be in a handstand, feet on the wall, no butt on the wall, while their partner's working or the rep wouldn't count.
And the person who wants to change the weight has to do that. It
Yeah,
can't be
just
like
that one person.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
only one
either it
person.
can either be the person that's out there before they leave and go tag their teammates in, or they can tag and the other person can
Yeah.
load when they get there. But just one person on the mat at a time.
Yep. You guys got that part? Awesome.
Is that it for this 181?
Yes, for 181. Yes.
Okay.
So that's 181.